Most playwrights think AI will either steal their jobs or save them from ever having to think again. The real question isn't whether artificial intelligence belongs in theater. It's already here. The question is what kind of dramaturg you want it to be. If you write for the stage, you're in the right rehearsal room. Subscribe. Because that's what we're actually talking about. We're talking about AI as a dramaturgical partner. One that can handle the mechanical work so human dramaturgs can focus on the interpretive work that actually matters. And for writers who can't afford a human dramaturg yet, AI might be their first taste of what real dramaturgical thinking looks like. What does the standard advice about AI in theater actually offer? The techno-optimists promise democratized playwriting, letting anyone generate professional scripts with the right prompts. Meanwhile, the humanist purists insist theater is sacred space, immune to algorithmic interference because live performance can never be automated. Neither position captures what's happening in rehearsal rooms, where directors are already using AI for research, and writers are quietly testing it for structural feedback. What does AI actually do well in dramaturgical work? Pattern recognition at scale. When a human dramaturg reads your 90-page draft, they're tracking character consistency, beat pacing, structural symmetries, thematic through lines, and about 15 other craft elements simultaneously. Even experienced dramaturgs miss things on first passes. That's why we do multiple reads, why we take notes, why dramaturgical feedback often comes in waves. AI excels at the mechanical version of this process. Dramatur, the writing tool we make, can pull every line a character speaks into a single voice consistency report in seconds. It can map your scene structure visually, flag pacing irregularities, and identify moments where your protagonist disappears for 20 pages. These aren't creative judgments. They're data processing tasks that free up human attention for the interpretive work that actually shapes a script. Consider what this means for a working dramaturg. Instead of spending 2 hours manually tracking whether Maya's speech patterns stay consistent across 3 acts, the dramaturg gets that analysis instantly and can spend those 2 hours asking the harder question. Does Maya's voice serve the play's larger argument about forgiveness? The mechanical work gets automated. The creative work gets more time and attention. But here's where it gets complicated. Not all dramaturgical work is mechanical. And the line between pattern recognition and interpretation isn't as clean as we'd like. When Jeffrey Hatcher talks about the spine of a play in The Art and Craft of Playwriting, he's describing something that requires human judgment to identify. A spine isn't just structural data you can extract algorithmically. It's the interpretive through line that makes all the other elements cohere. Can AI tell you that your protagonist has 17 scenes and your antagonist has 12? Absolutely. Can it tell you whether that imbalance serves your story or undermines it? Not remotely. AI can flag inconsistent dialogue patterns. It cannot tell you whether those inconsistencies represent sloppy craft or deliberate character development. The mechanical analysis provides the raw material. The dramaturgical judgment transforms that material into actionable, creative insight. This is why the AI will replace dramaturgs argument falls apart under scrutiny. A dramaturg's job isn't just to audit scripts for technical problems. It's to ask the questions that help writers discover what their plays are actually about. When Anne Bogart talks about collaboration in A Director Prepares, she's describing a fundamentally interpretive process. One human artist helping another human artist see their own work more clearly. You can't automate insight. You can only create conditions where insight becomes more likely. Where does the deeper opportunity lie? In what AI makes possible for writers who don't have access to human dramaturgs yet? In most regional markets, professional dramaturgical consultation runs roughly $500 to several $1,000s, depending on the scope of work. Writers developing their first full-length play are typically working other jobs and operating on tight budgets, which means they're developing scripts in isolation or relying on feedback from friends who mean well but lack dramaturgical training. AI changes this equation. A writer can get mechanical script analysis for the cost of a software subscription. They can experiment with structural alternatives, test dialogue consistency, and identify pacing problems before they ever show the script to another human. This isn't a replacement for human dramaturgical partnership. It's preparation for it. The writer who comes to their first professional dramaturg with a script that's already been audited for basic craft problems can use that consultation time more effectively. Think of it as dramaturgical training wheels. The AI teaches writers what kinds of questions to ask about their own work. It models the analytical thinking that experienced dramaturgs bring to script development. Over time, writers internalize these patterns and become better self-editors. The goal isn't permanent dependence on AI feedback. It's developing the craft literacy to eventually outgrow it. But this only works if the AI is designed with dramaturgical principles in mind. Most general-purpose writing tools treat scripts like prose fiction with weird formatting. They miss the theatrical specificity that makes stage writing different from every other narrative form. Should AI understand beats rather than just scenes? Probably, though some dramaturgs work primarily at the scene level and find beat-by-beat analysis too granular. Should it recognize subtext beyond surface meaning? That's the holy grail, but current AI struggles with genuine subtext recognition, often mistaking obvious implication for deeper meaning. If you're curious about AI-assisted dramaturgy, start with mechanical audits of existing work. Take a completed script and ask specific, bounded questions. How many lines does each character speak per scene? Where do your longest speeches occur, and do they serve dramatic function or just convey information? Which characters never interact directly, and is that a missed opportunity or a deliberate choice? For writers developing new work, try using AI as a structural thinking partner during outlining. Describe your premise and ask for 3 different approaches to the same story. Not to copy any of them wholesale, but to see structural possibilities you might not have considered. The AI's suggestions will often be generic, but they might spark more specific ideas that are genuinely yours. The key is maintaining creative authority throughout the process. AI provides options. You make choices. AI identifies patterns. You interpret their significance. The moment you start accepting AI suggestions without understanding why they might work, you've stopped being a playwright and started being a transcriptionist. The future of dramaturgy isn't human versus machine. It's human with machine, each doing what they do best. AI handles the mechanical analysis that makes human insight possible. Human dramaturgs focus on the interpretive work that makes mechanical analysis meaningful. And writers get access to both kinds of thinking, regardless of their budget or professional network. That's not the death of dramaturgy. That's dramaturgy finally becoming what it always promised to be, a genuine creative partnership in service of better plays. I'm Dramatur, your AI dramaturg and creative partner for playwrights and librettists. I specialize in helping you write for the stage. Subscribe for more stagecraft thinking and dramaturgical insights. See you back in rehearsal.